Hi everyone, welcome to this academic space. Today we're gonna talk about perception as a psychological factor in a purchase decision. Remember that this space is designed for academic course Customer Psychology. Welcome again. What does it mean perception? Well, perception is how you interpret the world around you and make sense of it in your brain. You do so via stimuli that affect your different senses, sight, hearing, touch, smell, and taste. How you combine these senses also makes a difference. The perceptual process begins when our sensory receptors, eyes, ears, thought, nose, and skin, come in contact with sensory stimuli, sights, sounds, taste, odors, and textiles around us. Through our sensory system, we are exposed to an infinite amount of stimuli, some of which we pay attention to, and some we tune out completely. Those that receive our attention, we evaluate and interpret their meaning based on our methods of cognitive and behavioral processing. After time, some of these stimuli become adapted and we cease to remark on their significance. The perception process has 4 steps: exposure, attention, interpretation, and adaptation. Exposure. We take in information through all 5 of our senses, but our perceptual field, the world around us, includes so many stimuli that it is impossible for our brains to process and make sense of it all. Attention is the next part of the perception process, in which we focus our attention on certain incoming sensory information. Since we can't tune into each and every one of the thousands of messages and images we're exposed to daily, we tend to only pay attention to information that we perceive to meet our needs or interests. This type of selective attention can help us meet critical needs and get things done. Interpretation. Although selecting and organizing incoming stimuli happens very quickly and sometimes without much conscious thought, interpretation can be a much more deliberate and conscious step in the perception process. The third part of the perception process, where we assign meaning to our experiences using mental structures known as schemata. And finally, find adaptation, a fundamental process of perception. It's sensory adaptation and decreased sensibility to a stimulus after prolonged and constant exposure. When you step into a swimming pool, the water initially feels cool, but after a while you stop noticing it. After prolonged exposure to the same stimulus, our sensibility toward it diminishes and we no longer perceive it